So just when I thought I had driven a couple of very comfortable cars over the past few months, Mercedes delivered me this S500 Coupe here, and I have to say, as far as comfort, but especially ride quality goes, this car is in a completely different galaxy to pretty much anything that I've ever driven.
The S-Class Coupe is a car I wanted to film for a long time, as a prime example of German engineering and the one car that is often called the best in the world. The Coupe, just like the limousine, is a lesson in modern exterior design that makes you wonder if it could look any more majestic and expensive going down the road. People reacted surprisingly well to it, and because the Coupe is a very rare sight in most parts of Germany, you often get into lovely conversations at gas stations and other places, consuming a bit more time for each trip than you actually planned. You can spend a solid hour drinking in all the shapes and discussing whether the 47 Swarovski crystals in each headlight make the car more special or adjust a touch too much opulence before you even start to discover the interior. The highest level of build quality and materials I've seen in a long time left me in a moment of awe when I first got behind the wheel of my test car. Loaded up with a full Designo leather interior, all driver assistance programs including lane and steering assist, the brilliant Mercedes night view and head-up display, a Burmester surround sound system, fully adjustable dynamic seats with 6 massage programs and a panoramic glass roof, it's easy to say that this S500 had the most expensive feeling and advanced interior of any car I've ever filmed. It's tempting to do a 1-hour tour of all the details and hard to pick your personal highlights. For me, using a real galvanic element for the switches and not having a touchscreen getting covered in fingerprints certainly added more to my luxury impression than the Swarovski crystal on the cup holder cover in the middle console. But even questionable touches like this can't ruin the brilliant design language and stunning quality, which for me are the best by any German manufacturer on the market right now. The Command Online system also is the most intuitive infotainment unit for my taste, and I simply love the graphics of all the menus. The smaller Burmester system could be louder, but delivers crystal clear sound for anybody who doesn't want to spend the big money on the €7,500 high-end 3D surround sound unit. Mercedes claims the S-Class has the lowest interior noise level of any car in the world, which even more makes it the most perfect place for long distance drives in utter comfort.
This is the S500, which has a 4.7 liter V8 engine which is bi-turbocharged and makes 455 horsepower and 700 Newton meters of torque. And what this car also has is the Mercedes 9-speed automatic transmission, the 9G-tronic, which was introduced in 2015. That transmission actually was one of the reasons why I wanted to test drive this car. My inspiration to film not only this car, but the SL63 AMG last year on this island here actually comes from a guy who has been living here ever since I come here on vacation, and he has always owned the latest CL or S-Class Coupe ever since I come here. And I always thought, well, if I get the chance to drive one of these big Mercedes cars, the best thing that I can do is experience it on a long drive from Frankfurt up here. It's about 500 miles or 750 kilometers, and then really see about the ride quality on some of the mixed roads that this island here has. And yeah, the performance of this engine and the sound with the exhaust that this car here has, which has a flap in it and opens up at a certain RPM level, has been very satisfying, I have to say. Power is more than decent. At higher speeds above 200 kilometers, I thought, well, there's still quite a bit of room left for the power of that AMG V8 engine that I drove last year in the SL63 AMG. So I was not that impressed with high-speed performance, I have to say, but most people should be fine with the performance of this car, and you can get an all-wheel drive version, a 4MATIC too. The 9G-tronic here is an amazing automatic transmission, I have to say. With 9 gears you just have so many ratios that the RPM level is always really low when you're driving with this car, even at very high speeds, and that not only reduces noise but also gives you a great fuel consumption. I've not driven economical when I drove up here. I just wanted to get up here as fast as possible and drove 240 wherever it was possible. This car is on winter tires, so the speed limit is 240, normally it's 250. And yeah, I had a consumption of around 12.5 liters, which really impressed me, I have to say. And the comfort, responsiveness of this 9G-tronic is really amazing and just adds to the comfort experience of this car. But the one thing that I wanted to talk you through, and that is very important for me making this review about this car here, is another option that this car here has, and that's the Magic Body Control. That's a system for the suspension, and it is a combination of two components actually. It has the ABC active body control that Mercedes already introduced a few years ago, which adjusts the suspension according to G-force, let's say, so it reduces body roll in corners, but also when you are accelerating or braking, it is adjusting the suspension so that you don't get dive or lift. So yeah, it minimizes body roll and body movements. But what it also has with this Magic Body Control is a system that Mercedes calls road scan. And what that gives you is a stereo camera up here in the windshield that scans the road 15 meters ahead of you and adjusts the suspension and the dampers according to the road surface before you actually drive over it. And what you get with that is a ride quality and a comfort level as far as the suspension is concerned that I've not experienced in any other car. It is seriously impressive. I mean, keeping in mind that I'm on winter tires, this car's suspension and comfort level are just amazing, I have to say. I can't think of a better car that I've driven as far as ride quality is concerned. So there are actually 3 different settings for this Magic Body Control here. Active Body Control Comfort, like the name says, that's for the most comfortable ride. Very nice setting, I've used that a lot. And the second one is called Curve, which I think is an automatic setting actually that adjusts the car according to the driving situation. So sometimes it's firmer, sometimes it just feels like the comfort setting. Yeah, that's also a very nice system. And driving this car in the sport mode, which is the third setting, also impressed me because yeah, this car never loses its comfortable character, but with this steering system that Mercedes uses, how the brakes feel, it is a very confidence-inspiring car to drive fast and to drive in corners. So the size of this car is no problem. The steering has the right speed, and yeah, it is just enjoyable to drive this car on a long drive, to drive it fast on the Autobahn, and also yeah, to drive corners with this car is no problem at all. So yeah guys, in the end I really don't want to use too many words here for the verdict. I think it was really easy to spot that I like this car's design, which is something that is down to personal taste. But I think not only the fact that this car is a coupe, if it was a sedan it wouldn't be a different story for me. As far as design goes and as far as the luxury experience of their cars goes, Mercedes right now for me is in a different league to Audi and BMW, which offer similar technology, maybe even stuff that is more modern than what you get in this S-Class coupe here. But their design is a little bit more conservative for me and doesn't touch me as far as emotions go as much as this S-Class here. And yeah, I wouldn't disagree with anybody who considers this S-Class the best car in the world. I think the ride quality is pretty much unmatched by anything that I've ever driven. And just the quality experience, when you spend so much money on a car, yeah, it's hard to say a car is worth 170,000 euro, but when you've driven this car, when you've been in one of these and experienced its interior and just all the features, I think you can definitely say that it's worth the money, and that's the biggest compliment that you can make it. So congrats to anybody who is able to buy one of these, has the money to spend on a car like this, and I think you get a lot for the money. And yeah, definitely one of the best cars that I've ever driven. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about the S-Class Coupe, and let me know in the comments below. Take care, drive safely. I see you soon.